William's latest Insta appearance makes Harry crave the clear difference between class versus Z-list celebrity. Trader Prince has happily appeared in social posts during his mini tour, but his big brother has been showing the world what he gave up. Honestly, folks, sometimes there are moments in this crazy ride of reporting about the royals that almost seem to have been handed down to us by some higher power. This is the story of two Instagram posts, a couple of posts put out within about 36 hours of one another, and which perfectly capture the crazily divergent paths of the lives of Prince William, destroyer of dog bowls, and Prince Harry, feeler of so many emotions, have taken. The first post came to us through Nacho Figueres' Instagram account. Now, he is the polo player that spent last week traveling around with Harry. First, the friends landed in Tokyo for a sports summit, and then they headed to Singapore where they participated in a charity polo tournament. The whole world was quietly just trying to get used to the new Harry that we saw in Asia, the smile upon whose face could not be wiped off. And meanwhile, Nacho was responsible for keeping us all up to date on their little tour. There was the shot of them wearing aviator sunglasses, captioned "Shopping for Our Wives," and coordinating dadcore polo t-shirts, which probably got Meghan Markle all excited that he was going to bring her home a pair. And then we got the story again from Figueres of the two playing foosball, captioned "First game to H despite his squeaky performance, now we ride," like they were off to Bosworth Field and not only there to entertain some wealthy Singaporeans who were drinking cocktails. Now, none of it was very interesting stuff, to be fair. If only 9,500 kilometers away, the Kensington Palace social media team hadn't been busy trying to show up Harry's little tour. On last Friday, Buckingham Palace announced the redistribution of 21 military appointments, many of which in the past had been held by Her late Majesty, and the honorary roles were dished out like candies to the remaining bunch of working HRHs. Between the two of them, William and Catherine racked up 6 new roles, something that their team then hyped up on social media by releasing a video that felt like a sizzle reel for Top Gun 3. There was the lingering, the throbbing bass, the sexy shots of helicopter rotor blades, and a bunch of images of a beautifully diverse range of British servicemen and women defending the motherland. While it might have looked like a bit of marketing fluff released by the military-industrial complex or somebody who sells toilet seats to the Pentagon, it was an effective bit of self-promotion, to be fair. It was viewed more than 2.4 million times over the weekend. So it looks like the ancient Greek god of irony, among other things, Momus, may have been hard at work here. The contrast between these two social media outings could not be more interesting. So in one, we see a man who managed to jettison his official standing, somebody who gave up his former working royal life in order to move to California, and then we've got the other who is looking more and more like a Sun King in the making. Or to put things another way, Harry, who served a couple of tours on the front line of Afghanistan, is now trying to reclaim his status as the fun-loving prince while on a little mini-break. And then his arch-nemesis, William, and also Catherine, the woman who may or may not have made Meghan cry, well, they're busy getting even more prestigious roles for themselves. It looks almost like the life that Harry wanted, where service is universal and he can spend all day, every day supporting the armed services. But somehow, this role has ended up going to his estranged brother, and then he is left creating some influencer content with a former Ralph Lauren model. Boy, it's difficult to imagine that this is the life that Harry really wanted, the life that he thought he was going to get back in late 2019 and the first days of 2020, when he and Meghan were busy making their plans for this brave new world. Instead of touring military bases and shaking the hands of people who put their lives on the line for the safety of Britain, now Harry's day job is focused on trying to figure out how to bring a romance novel to the screen to keep those bosses at Netflix happy. This week has resulted in Harry being flung even further out of the royal orbit. While Harry was in Asia, the Buckingham Palace website was being updated, stripping Meghan and Harry of their HRHs from their entries, and also shunting them to almost the bottom of the list. And the timing of all of this is very curious when we think about that all of this is happening right when Harry is trying to make a comeback after months of being hidden away in his and Meghan's Montecito compound. And apparently there's not been any forgiveness coming from inside the firm. It has been reported that a visceral bitterness persists at the sustained attacks that Harry and Meghan have waged against his own family through his memoir and their television interviews and also their docuseries. Meanwhile, next month, we're going to see Harry, and this time Meghan's going to be there by his side supposedly, but we're going to see them go over to Dusseldorf for the next Invictus Games. And the timing means that Harry and Meghan are going to be in Europe only a few days after the first anniversary of the late Queen's death. Might this turn out to be an opportunity for a little bit of a reconciliation moment, some kind of pragmatic decision to invite Meghan and Harry up to Balmoral to do some emotional patching up? Well, according to reports which suggest that the king is still not very interested in getting out that old olive branch, the answer is absolutely not. And here Momus comes into the picture again, because while Harry and Meghan are being ignored by Team Windsor and they're in Germany, William and Catherine will have just enjoyed seeing their star rise even higher. According to the Mirror, Prince William and Princess Catherine are going to lead the tributes to Her Late Majesty, and they're also going to deliver a public message honoring the life and legacy of the monarch. Reportedly, Charles is going to spend the day privately at Balmoral, the same way that his mother religiously marked the passing of her father, George VI, annually at Sandringham, where he passed away in 1952. Not only may the Prince and Princess of Wales be ready to get starring roles, but also to make things even worse for Meghan and Harry, there was a new Gallup poll done last week that discovered that Prince William was the most liked world leader, out of a choice of 15 contenders, according to Americans. And then next month, the heir to the throne is going to continue his accidental encroaching on Meghan and Harry's territory when he comes to New York for the Earthshot Innovation Summit. So let's go back to the two social media posts that we started with. The story they really tell us is like some kind of Alice in Wonderland scenario. While Harry's place in the world has been shrinking and he's been transforming himself into a much reduced figure, William is getting even bigger and bigger, both in responsibility and in palace luster. So it looks like we have definitely gone through the looking glass, and it looks like Nacho Figueres' Instagram account is waiting for us on the other side. And you, what do you think about Harry and William? Please tell me your view below in the comments section, and we can also talk about the relationship between the royal brothers. Don't forget to like and share my video with anybody else who would enjoy it if you preferred it this evening. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.